Hey, it's D-Tang from the house, and today we're going to show you how to get a straighter backswing so you can throw more strikes.
All right, everybody, we're back with the house bowling reviews, and today we're going to be reviewing Austin, and we're going to take a look at his approach to the line before we start picking out our pros and cons. All right, so right off the bat, I want to talk about a couple things that I like to see right here, and his finish. I like his finish position a lot. So right here, if we fast forward a little bit, pause right there. You can see his balance is actually pretty good, and his lines at the bottom of the swing are pretty good too. So by lines, what I'm talking about is his head position in comparison to the ball position. So typically you want that pretty in line, and what that's going to help you with is keeping the ball in line, because with your head, you're obviously looking at your target. So if your ball's in line with your head, you're going to have everything on line, and it's going to increase consistency. And as we know, consistency leads to higher scores. So moving forward, we're going to be talking about a couple of things that Austin can improve on. So let's watch this video again. We're going to start from the beginning. And bowling is primarily ground up. I feel most sports are ground up based, and by that I mean starts with the feet. Let's fast forward a little bit. Okay, so here's the beginning of his approach, and let's stop it on his push step. So right here, not quite done with his second step yet, or the push step, but we can see the direction in which his ball is being pushed, and it's kind of out to the right a little bit. And what this is going to cause is what I grew up calling the reversed figure eight. And having a figure eight is not a bad thing, but it depends on the direction. So typically, most pros, you'll see the ball kind of travels outside of their head a little bit, and then it tucks its way back in. Well, if we watch Austin throw this shot, we can see that his is kind of the opposite. So he pushes the ball to the right. It gets behind him a little bit. Let's get to that spot where the ball starts to travel behind him. So there's that little bump to the right in the swing. You can see the ball starting to travel up and behind his head. And it's okay if the ball's a little bit on the inside of your head, but you don't want to get it too far. So as you can see, it made a motion from behind his head, and it's kind of looping out this way like that. And that's the opposite, or the reverse figure eight that I was talking about earlier. So we can watch his ball travel. Let's play it in slow motion. And there you can see it kind of gets that in to out motion. And as professional bowlers, we try to look at that out to in motion, which is the opposite direction. So let's pull it back a little bit. We'll take away these lines. And that's going to be the first thing that I'd like to highlight. It starts with the push away, of course. So if he can focus on keeping his elbow tucked into his body a little bit more, I think that'll help him straighten out his swing a little bit, and pushing a little more in front of him. So let's pause it right here. So if we can try to get the ball position from where it's at right now to maybe right here instead, we'll close this gap. And you want that gap as tight as possible, your elbow in comparison to your body. So in slow motion here, we're going to play the video. He gets to the top of the swing again, gets to the bottom. And what this is going to cause, the reverse figure eight, what it's going to cause is him to shut his angles down very quickly when he gets to the bottom of the swing. And when that happens, it makes it very difficult to open up your angles. So if he ever gets into a situation where he has to move really far to the left, he's going to have a hard time where he's at right now, opening up his angles and getting his ball going to the right. Now, the second thing that I kind of want to address is his sliding leg. So in slow motion right here, let's take a look. So we addressed the fact that we want the swing to be a little bit straighter. So you can see he plants, and you don't see too many professionals that plant. We know that Chris used to plant, and he was having a hard time controlling his ball speed. and he's recently been having a lot more success. He's had a much easier time controlling how fast he wants to throw it because he's starting to slide more. So if we can get Austin into a slide, I think that'll increase his range for ball speed. As you can see right there. Balance is still pretty good, though, and that's what we like to see. The third thing I would want to highlight is watch the direction of his steps. So slow motion right here, takes that push step, and right there he takes that big step to the left. And we got lines going kind of all over the place right now. So he has his first 2 steps are pretty straight, and then takes a big one over here. And then I'm gonna let's move the video forward a little bit more into the next step. So the next step is right here, and then watch how big his next step is. In this position, it looks like he's going to slide in the left gutter cap, really open up the lane, which I wouldn't mind if this was his footpath. But we look here, and he ends up sliding about somewhere between 20 and 25. So look at this right here. His footpath, first 2 steps, pretty on line. Third one, a little outside, probably a little wider than we'd like to see. I mean, we all know Belmo takes that big step to the left on his 3rd step, or the step after his push step. But he keeps his lines pretty straight after that. And Austin here is going from the left gutter to about the center of the lane. And that's going to make it very difficult for him when it comes to versatility, playing different lines. It's going to take some parts of the lane out of play for him strictly because he can't get far enough left to hook the lane. So if Austin wants to work on hooking the lane a little bit more, I think he's going to have to get his feet going a little bit straighter, and in turn, I think that'll help straighten out his swing as well. So let's watch through his video one more time. And we'll go over, kind of summarize a few points. We'll play it in slow motion. And keep in mind, watch the push away. So right here, we want to keep his push away a little straighter, keep his elbow closer to his body. Right there. You don't want that big gap in between your body and your elbow. So he gets to the top of the swing, and here we go. His lines are actually pretty good right there. I would love this if the elbow traveled closer to his body instead of outward around his head. So you see, it's really tough to keep the ball in line when you're trying to get it to go one direction, but the ball wants to travel the other. So right here, you can kind of see the ball is going to want to travel to the left, and he has to force it back to the right. And it looks like he's going to be using a little more muscle there as well. And I've always been taught growing up that loose muscles are fast muscles. So if you can get the ball off your hand faster, that generates more rev rate. And if you get your feet moving to stay in time with your hand and your arm swing, then you're going to generate a good amount of power. So that's going to be it for our review with Austin here. I hope he takes these things into consideration, make some improvements, and hopefully he starts scoring higher.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you smash the like button, comment down below, and more importantly, subscribe so you see future videos. But more importantly, if you'd like your own video and analyzed by the guys of the house, make sure you hit the link below for 50% off. We'll see you next time.